What if I told you the most powerful muscles in your body have been on airplane mode for the last decade, letting weaker ones take control and quietly wreck your posture, strength, and even how you move? That's the disaster happening to most people right now, but I'm going to show you exactly how hip thrusting reboots your whole system. Let's start with the obvious. Hip thrusts build strong glutes. The problem is, thanks to sitting, most of our glutes, otherwise known as our butt muscles, suffer from muscular amnesia. The neural pathway from brain to backside is asleep. This is why you can do squats and still feel it more in your thighs. But even with a hip thrust, many people still complain they feel it more in their hamstrings. The good news is there is a ridiculously simple 2-second adjustment you can make to your foot placement that acts like a light switch, forcing the glutes to take over 100% of the load. I'll show you exactly how to find that sweet spot when we break down the perfect form later. For now, just know that the hip thrust is the ultimate neurological wake-up call. Its unique setup makes it nearly impossible for other muscles to take over, forcing your glutes to do the work. Studies even confirm that hip thrusts activate your glutes more effectively than squats, making it the most direct way to remind your body's most powerful engine how to fire. But here's the thing. The people who keep looking strong year after year aren't just lifting heavy, they're also taking care of the smaller muscles that keep everything moving the way it should. That's the part most people skip, and it's exactly what my step-by-step ebook is designed to cover. It's packed with simple, overlooked exercises that strengthen your stabilizers and improve mobility so you can maintain your fitness without those nagging aches slowing you down. Think of it as the behind-the-scenes training that keeps the main show running. The link's in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on screen with your phone to check it out. But alright, let's get back to the first piece of the puzzle. For years, you've probably thought your back pain was a back problem. You've stretched it, you've rested it, maybe you even foam rolled it into submission. But it was all a distraction. The real culprit was your lazy glutes. When your glutes don't do their job, your body panics and enlists your lower back and hamstrings as emergency responders. The problem is, they're terrible at that job. It's like asking an accountant to fly a fighter jet. They might try, but it's gonna be a messy, painful disaster. Researchers have established a direct link between weak gluteal muscles, specifically the gluteus maximus, and the prevalence of chronic low back pain. By forcing your glutes to take back their rightful job with the hip thrust, you allow your lower back to finally resign from a position it never wanted. You're not just strengthening a muscle, you're ending a crisis that could have got a lot worse down the line. Aches and pains are one thing, but let's be honest, we also want to look like we have our act together. Weak glutes are the primary architects of a postural disaster known as anterior pelvic tilt. To understand this, imagine your pelvis is a bowl full of water. Decades of sitting have caused your glutes to weaken and your hip flexors to tighten, creating a constant tug-of-war that your glutes are losing badly. This defeat causes the bowl of your pelvis to tip forward, spilling water out the front. The immediate result is that your stomach protrudes and your lower back arcs excessively, forcing you into a shape that resembles a human question mark. That's how people get that Donald Duck look, but there's more to it than just looking weird. It creates a catastrophic chain reaction throughout your entire body. That forward tilt puts your hamstrings on a permanent, agonizing stretch, making them feel tight when they're actually over-lengthened and weak. Meanwhile, your body, always the survivalist, tries to find its center of gravity again. This often causes your upper back to round forward and your head to jut out to counterbalance the tilt at your hips. Now you have neck pain, shoulder impingement, and even shallow breathing, all because the foundation at your pelvis has crumbled. The hip thrust directly attacks the root of this entire calamity. By strengthening the glutes, you are building the powerful counterforce needed to pull that bowl back to level. You're not just doing an exercise, you're performing a structural realignment on yourself. You're fixing the foundation to save the whole building. Remember that internal traffic jam I mentioned? This is how we clear it. Forget endless crunches. The most important job of your core isn't to create movement, it's to prevent it. Your core is the rigid, unbending chassis of a high-performance vehicle. Its job is to provide a stable platform so the engine, your hips and glutes, can transfer massive force without the whole structure twisting into a pretzel. Crunches train your core to be a flexible, flimsy mess. The hip thrust, however, trains it for its true purpose, to be a suit of armor. But building that armor depends entirely on how long it's held under tension. Most people just pump out reps, but there is a specific duration for the squeeze at the top of the movement that triggers the greatest release of muscle-building signals from your nervous system. Holding it too long can actually be less effective for strength, while not holding it long enough leaves massive growth on the table. When we get to the execution, I'll give you the exact count you need to use for whatever your goal is. At the top of every single rep, you're fighting to maintain a perfectly straight line from your shoulders to your knees. To achieve this, you have to create a 360-degree brace. It's not just your six-pack muscles firing, it's your deep transverse abdominis cinching in like a corset, your obliques locking down your sides, and the muscles of your lower back contracting to create an impenetrable cylinder of stability. This is the functional stiffness that protects your spine when you have to suddenly lift something heavy or catch your balance on an icy patch of pavement. It's an automatic, reflexive strength that crunches can never build. It clears that neurological traffic jam by forcing your entire midsection to fire as one cohesive, intelligent unit. It's upgrading the wiring and reinforcing the highway all at once, forging a dynamic, responsive internal weight belt that you carry with you everywhere you go. Here's where it all comes together. All that power, stability, and posture translates into a body that just moves better. I'm not talking about making you a professional athlete. I'm talking about making you a better athlete in the sport of life. That explosive hip drive is the secret sauce in a powerful golf swing. It's the quickness you need to chase down a shot in pickleball. But more importantly, it's the strength and mobility to get on the floor and build a Lego castle without needing a crane to get back up. You're fundamentally reteaching your body how to move with power and grace. So how do we do it right? Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Now tuck your chin and drive through your heels. Then squeeze your glute and lift your hips. At the top, hold that squeeze for 2 solid seconds. Feel it. Then control the descent. Don't let gravity win. The movement ends when your hips are fully open, not when your back turns into a banana. Make sure you're in a straight line and your hips aren't overextended. Once you can nail 3 sets of 15 perfect reps, you can graduate to adding weight. Find a bench and rest your upper back against it. Place a weight like a dumbbell or a barbell across your hips, preferably with a pad. The movement is the same: chin tucked, drive through the heels, savage squeeze at the top, and controlled negative on the way down. Also, I forgot to tell you, if you want more practical fitness tips and strategies like this sent directly to you for free every week, you can join my newsletter using the link below. So here's the game plan. Add this to your routine 2 or 3 times a week. Aim for 3 to 4 sets. For body weight, shoot for 15 to 25 reps. With weight, aim for 8 to 15 reps, where the last few are a real challenge. In case you hadn't noticed, this isn't a complex, time-consuming addition. It's a simple, high-return investment in your body's foundation. Stop letting your body's most powerful asset collect dust. Wake it up, strengthen it, and watch how it transforms the way you move, feel, and live. Also, don't forget to check out my ebook in the description below, because this exercise is only one piece of the puzzle, but that guide is the whole blueprint. Your body will thank you later.